Hello there.
Welcome back, Fan-Fueled family. Today's video will be on the shorter side, but it's something I've wanted to cover for a while. Have you ever been playing a game and you see something that really catches your eye that the developers just threw in as basically set dressing? For me, that's Brith in Knights of the Old Republic. If you've played either of the Knights of the Old Republic games, you've been to Dantooine, and floating lazily over the plains you can see huge creatures. These are Brith. The developers had no intention of the player interacting with these creatures, nor did they expect anyone to get close enough to examine them. They aren't even mentioned or named in-game. The name Brith comes from the game files. Brith are giant manta-like creatures that glide over the plains of Dantooine. They're quite beautifully colored, with pale gray underbellies, green along the tops of their bodies, and purple at the edges of their wings. They have a wide mouth with 2 lobes on either side of it. Just outside of these lobes they have eyes, and there are large gills on their ventral side. Because they were intended just as basically set dressing, we know very little about them. Players were never meant to get close, but in my endless quest to bring you better content, I've used a third-party free camera program to get close. I love these things. They're so majestic. Flying mantas are a semi-common thing in fiction. We've seen cloud rays in D&D, the recent game Satisfactory has giant flying mantas that wander the game world. Older editions of Dungeons & Dragons had Mantari, flesh-eating creatures that preyed on humans and gnomes, and Code Lyoko has the flying mantas from Season 2 onward. Star Wars has a few similar creatures too. Felucian flying mantas were native to Felucia, of course, but were smaller, had more eyes, and were a bit stockier. We've seen those in The Force Unleashed and again in Battlefront 2. To a lesser extent, there's a bit of similarity to Thrantas, an animal from Alderaan that a young Leia learned to ride. I love when developers put little things in games that seem totally unnecessary but turn out to be really cool for world building. BioWare absolutely did not need to include Brith, but they thought it would add just a little bit more flavor to the game, something so the sky on Dantooine wouldn't be so empty. I hope we can learn more about the Brith someday in a canon project. Maybe Cal Kestis can ride one in the 3rd game in Respawn's trilogy. Next time, we're going to take a look at the biggest, most feared predator on Tatooine, so make sure you tune in for that. What do you think of the Brith? Did you even notice them before now? Were you ever curious as to what they are? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is a really niche topic, but I love these things and wanted to bring some attention to them. If you want to support the channel, the best way you can do that right now is to hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. It all helps immensely. If you have a topic you'd like me to cover, leave a comment and I'll put it on my list. I love covering the topics you want to see. If you want to see a video on another Star Wars creature, Firax and Sharks, click here. Or click here to check out my Out of the Spotlight playlist where I look at underrated characters. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.